Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 7th Partner in Action webinar. As you know, this is the foundation of the Partner in Action webinar, which comes from the communication model Predator, Prey, or Partner, which is a body of work that was developed by my sister, Pat Kirkland. If you want to find out more about Pat or her work, you can visit patkirklandleadership.com. And it looks like we have people spread from all over the globe. So hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Before we jump into the content, I want to pass it over to Nicola to review some technical points. Take it over.
Thanks, Amy. Hi, everyone, from me. This call is an audio only and the session will be recorded. So if possible, please find a quiet spot. In order to keep the quality of the line high, please use a headset and mute your microphone when not speaking. I will also be muting you automatically, so don't worry if you forget how to do it. If you're calling in on a landline phone, press *6 to mute or unmute yourself and *9 to raise your hand if you want to ask a question and you can't get through. If you are calling via your computer or iPad directly through the Zoom app, click on the microphone symbol in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen to mute or unmute. To raise your hand, click on Participants, then Raise Hand. I'll also put this information into the chat box for those of you who are online. You can also use this chat box if you want to ask a question or make a comment. And finally, if you're having trouble with any of these technical points, unmute yourself and practice the art of interrupting. That's all for now. Back to you, Amy.
Nicola, I like how you say that, the art of interrupting. I think I'm going to start using that expression.
I think it is an art.
It really is. So today's call will be semi-interactive. It'll be some discussion and some laser coaching. We're going to be looking at a few of the communication challenges you submitted prior to the call. And keep in mind that it'll be very back and forth interactive, brief exchanges on both the behavior and on the mindset that is discussed in the Predator-Prey Partner program. So whether or not it's the challenge you submitted, you're welcome to participate in the discussion and volunteer to be coached. You may be doing some writing during the call, so grab a piece of paper and a pen and make sure you're not riding or driving a vehicle. The call is going to consist of 3 areas. We'll look at success stories, we'll look at challenges and comments and questions. You can ask a question or you can make a comment by raising your hand via the participant icon or use the chat box. Both are located in the bottom toolbar. And here's an important reminder. You want to be concise. So many of the people I work with, that's one of their challenges. So we're going to use the 4-sentence rule. Say whatever you have to say in 4 sentences. And it may take me a moment to respond to chats since there's about 45 people on the call tonight. If you're someone who got this webinar invitation forwarded to you and you haven't attended one of my workshops, I'm delighted you are joining. Most people on the call have attended a workshop or an intensive training with me. So it's possible that not everything's going to make perfect sense to you. So in that case, I have a request. And this is something I say in my trainings. I say, you don't have to like what I say. You don't have to agree with it. Just stay open to it. And over the coming weeks, after practicing the behaviors, start to notice and see what changes are starting to happen. And as you get better and better, see what results that will produce. Now I'm going to give a short review of the main concepts we refer to when we're talking about Predator-Prey Partner, so everyone's on the same page. Most of the time, most of us are behaving as partners, meaning I'm holding high respect for myself and high respect for the other all as well. The problem is under pressure, stress, or perceived threat, we might slip into predator or prey. And the predator, we know you're there because you're holding too much respect for yourself, not enough for the others. And this can cause other people feeling intimidated or disrespected. And by contrast, if you become the prey, it means you are doing things that are sabotaging your credibility. You may be showing too much respect for the other person, not enough for yourself. All right, so with that in mind, those are the definitions we'll be using. And partner, as you can imagine, is super magical because when you hold respect for yourself and the other, predators don't want to misbehave, and preys are feeling safer with you. Now, with that in mind, let's jump in. We have the 3 communication challenges you voted on today. The one that got the most votes was handle getting challenged. And we have a brave volunteer who's going to be demonstrating that. Delivering bad news and then standing up for yourself and asking for what you want. Could be a raise. It could be a different kind of promotion. It could be asking for more resources. It could be asking to be included in a presentation, a team event. So we also got an individual communication challenge that Magda submitted. Thanks for that, Magda. And I'm going to coach you in the second half of the call today. So I'd like to begin with Velvet, who is a lovely woman I met in May when I was working in Guadalajara, a beautiful city in Mexico. And thank you, Velvet. You've agreed, I'll tell everyone else, you've agreed to be coached on this idea of how to effectively handle getting challenged.
Hi, Amy. Thank you. Thank you for this coaching.
Yes, great. Thank you, Velvet. And one of the things I'm going to ask you to do in order for everyone to hear you clearly, are you actually in a space where you can talk louder, comfortably?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So you're going to want to definitely talk nice and loud. So Velvet, before we jump in and do the practice, let's hear a little bit from you. What is it that is particularly difficult for you about getting challenged?
Okay, sure. The thing, Amy, is that I am a shy person. And in the work that I do, I have to present, do presentations, talk to people, get into calls to find for agreements, etc. Mm-hmm. And that's part of my job, my role description. And it's something that I like to do. However, or that's offensive bad, right?
Good.
Yet it's always very challenging to go into those things and present and speak up, speak loud, etc. And I'm willing for the challenge. I am okay for the challenge, but I suffer that a lot. I cannot really handle being challenged. I'd like to learn how to do that.
Okay, so I was slipped away for a little bit. I heard everything you said. I was just closing some doors to make it sound better on this side. And Velvet, what I'm hearing is you've got to really stick your neck out there doing these presentations. And sometimes it sounds like you're also doing some negotiation with people at times. Is that accurate?
Yes, it's accurate.
So, and then on top of it, you've got this part of your personality that you describe as shy, so it can feel even more challenging to do some of these things and ask for what you want.
Absolutely.
All right, so now let's hear some specific examples in the past where you got challenged and perhaps it didn't go very well.
Okay, I'll talk about a couple of years ago when I moved to a different role. And for that particular role, I had to host a weekly meeting. That was a huge challenge that eventually I was more comfortable with it. Now I'm able to have calls and to join those calls without suffering that much. Uh-huh. And yet I can still remember the feeling of it's 5 minutes before my meeting and I don't want to join that call because I will have to discuss issues. People will not be happy about the issues. I will have to reach for agreement. I don't really know how to do that. My voice is going to be all shaky, and it was a pain. After the call, and eventually again, it got better. And after the call, I will see it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so difficult. Everything went well. But every week,
yes.
Like yet every week, it was the same feeling.
That dread in your stomach, that overwhelm.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. And do you find, Velvet, that the being challenged over the phone is more of an issue for you than face to face, or is it in both scenarios?
In both scenarios.
Okay. So which one would you like to tackle? Now we're going to come up with a very specific situation scenario. And I may ask someone else on the call to step up and play that other person if it's appropriate.
Well, if you mean like pretend to be in a call, I can do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so give us some, so let's see if is someone being willing to be a brave, would you describe the people who challenge you, would they sound like predators?
Yes.
That's clear. Okay. So who on the call wants to challenge yourself and be willing to be a predator, even if you're not clear yet what's being expected of you? I'm going to ask Velvet some more questions and we'll make that more clear. Go ahead and take yourself off mute and let us know who's willing to volunteer.
Hi, Ken. This is Javier.
Thanks, Javier. Okay, so then, Javier, you're going to want to be listening for what Velvet is saying, and then we'll check with you to see if you need any more information. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Thanks. Okay. All right, Velvet. So give us some descriptions of a typical scenario where it's a phone conversation. I'm guessing there's probably multiple people on the call, so it's not just you and this other person usually. Is that true?
Right.
Which often makes it much more, we feel much more vulnerable when there's a public to see and experience our stress.
Right.
Okay, so tell us how this person behaves, what the situation is.
Okay. Let's pretend I need to seek for an agreement to do a change in the system I work with. And there is this particular person that doesn't want to move forward with the change, although it's going to benefit the other teams or the other parties involved. Mm-hmm. This particular person is not willing to go on board with the change. And I have to convince that person or present the possible outcomes and benefits out of that change.
So I'm hearing a lot of different skills you're needing to use here, because you're describing a negotiation of sorts. You're describing needing to get buy-in. And what I'm also hearing, the big challenge for you is having to do these things when the person is behaving like a predator.
Right.
I'm guessing that when their person is behaving reasonably and you have to convince them, even if they don't want to, then it's not as difficult. Is that right?
That's right. It goes well and is a very different feeling.
Yeah. Okay. So here's really good news. You're able to do this when the person's not misbehaving. And what we know from the predator-prey partner model is that it's possible when we shift our own behavior, often the other person's behavior shifts. Mm-hmm. So you want to be, I think, like many of us, where we sabotage ourselves is through our mindset, and that we crumble under the pressure, or we let the stress get the best of us. Is that true for you, do you think?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, great. And I know you and I have been talking about how you've been increasing your ability to present in public and showing up as much more confident, even if you're not feeling it inside. And this is essentially the same thing, and in a more acute, challenging situation. All right. So, Javier, do you need more details or information of how to behave or misbehave?
I think I would need to know a little more of the subject that we're going to discuss.
And actually, Velvet, before you give that information, one clarifying question. Is this person, we'll call him by Javier's name, we'll say Javier. Is this person, they're not going to benefit from this change? Is that correct? Somebody else will, except they won't.
I think what I have in mind is that the person is not willing to see the changes or the benefits. It's reluctant to be open to that. This person will be just saying no because that person doesn't feel comfortable with the change, even though it's not really going through the analysis of the benefits.
Okay, so it could very well benefit them. They're just not even willing to open up to that possibility.
Right.
Got it.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Yeah, well, hold on one second. I want to fix my screen. Nicola, is that working now?
No, and I can't share my screen as it will stop me being able to manage the participants and muting, etc.
Okay. So the image is partial, is that right?
The image is gone for me. I don't know whether anybody else is still able to see the screen share.
Yeah, for me too.
It's gone?
It's gone.
Yes.
Let me give me a moment because something weird happened here. If I say exit full screen, I'm not sure how to fix it, so we're just going to leave it be. So what image do you have on the screen?
It's just the general Zoom image where it says join audio, share screen, etc. So
okay, yeah, something weird happened a while ago, and I can't figure out what it was.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay, all right. So then, Javier, it's more like you're just kind of blocking no, and you're not really giving Velvet a chance to explain herself. Velvet, does that sound about right?
Right.
Okay. So Javier, is that clear for you?
Yes, totally.
Okay, good. So Javier, you're going to have to jump in and find your inner predator, my friend.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right. So now let's take it from the top. So Velvet, you're starting this call. You've got other people on the call and you're directing your pitch to Javier, and I'll interrupt at any point whenever I notice anything.
Okay. I'll get started. Okay, everyone, thank you for joining this call. As you know, I sent an email before discussing this change request that came from one of the regions, and as it got.
So I'm hearing upper inflection and you're speaking a little bit fast. Hello, everyone. You're rushing.
Okay.
So what I want is for you to sound like you have everything under control. Okay. So it's going to sound like this. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the call. Today, we're going to be, everything is a short sentence with that downward inflection. Don't rush through anything. Okay, take it from the top.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the call. Today, we will discuss the change requests that I talked to you about before.
Okay, pause. That's better. And I want to make an observation for people listening. Velvet now sounds a tiny bit, it's a little bit overly crisp. Now you sound like all business. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the call. Today, I'm exaggerating again, though. So there's a little bit more. We don't want you to do it quite to that extreme. Just pull back about 10, 15%. Hello, everyone. So we still have that warm, friendly energy in your voice.
Okay. Great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the call. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, that's better.
Today, we will discuss the change request submitted a while ago. I sent an email to all of you discussing the details.
Pause.
Now, I would like to know if all of you are on board with this change. As you read in the email, there will be benefits for everyone in the team.
No. Okay, stop there. So you asked if everyone's on board, and then you went into your pitch. So if we ask the question, I fall into this trap, I then start talking again. Ideally, if we ask the question, we pause and wait. And you may need to prepare them with even more clarity. So my question for you, everyone on the call is, and then you ask it. I think you actually said it similar to that. And then resist the temptation to pitch and push and convince. That can come later.
Okay.
Good. Okay, let's hear that. And then let's see, you might have to invite Javier or he'll just jump in. Let's see what happens.
Okay. I think, well, it will be better if Javier just jump in.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, good.
From the top?
No, just take it from, so I have a question for everyone on the call.
Okay. So I have a question for everyone in the call. Do you agree on these changes?
Good. Ask it
Velvet.
with downward inflection.
Do you agree with these changes?
Good.
Velvet, I don't agree because this is a lot of work for my side.
Pause.
And
Okay, hold on, Javier. So now,
okay.
as he's speaking, Velvet, you got to do the active listening, pretending it's just you and him on the call. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Got it.
Okay.
And then that whole active listening, summarize what he says, and then see what you say as a result.
Okay.
Javier, back to you.
Okay. And Velvet, I see no difference between what you are proposing and we are actually doing. There is no benefit from our side. It will be more work actually for us.
Okay, Javier. So if I understand correctly,
Okay, good. So Velvet, when you're doing the active listening, you need to be as loud as him, believe it or not. Right.
okay.
I see. It's going to be uncomfortable, though. You need to impose yourself in the conversation at an equal level to him. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's what a predator wants. He wants to know that you can go toe to toe with them, with that, not fighting, though you can hold your own, so to speak.
Okay.
Okay, Javier, back to you. If you just repeat that.
Okay. And Velvet, I don't see any benefit for me and my team.
Okay.
We will do actually more work than we do currently.
Okay.
So what's your business reason?
Okay, Javier, if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying this is not a benefit for you or your team. You're saying
Yes.
this is going to be a lot of work for you, correct?
Yes, it will be like a double work, more time consuming for us.
Okay.
So I don't agree.
Okay.
Good, Velvet. All right. I just waiting to see how you say it. So now,
no change.
well, tough luck, buddy. So, Velvet, what we want now is for you to say that again with more empathy. Oh, I see, Javier. So, if I'm understanding correctly, your concern is that it's going to mean more work for your team. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, yeah, got it. I can see why you would be concerned. Yep. Now, you're not saying it's not going to be more work. You're not saying it is. You're just saying, I understand why you would hesitate.
Okay.
And you want to show that with words and empathy in your voice.
Okay.
Okay, great. Take that from, so Javier, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Okay. So, Javier, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying this is more work for you and your team, correct?
Yes, it will.
And you are saying also that this will mean a lot of changing in your processes, right?
Yes, we are used to do our process, and as we've been doing from years, and I don't think there will be no benefit.
Okay, I see what you mean. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, pause. So Javier, does it impact you differently the way when she does her active listening like that?
Yes, because she's trying to be a partner and trying to understand what my concern is.
Great.
Yes, I can also feel a different reaction on him.
Yes, right. It's very difficult for him to stay predator when he's feeling heard and understood. And if a predator is a reasonable person, which believe it or not, most predators are, then it's very likely that they will shift when you're showing up in this way. Okay, so now, Velvet, I think the next step makes sense to say something like, so ask him permission to give your perspective. So, Javier, would it help you if I give you some more background, or would it help you if I clarify some of your concerns?
Okay. From there? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, Javier, I understand what you're saying.
So hold on. Go a little bit slower. And because you already summarized, you could get away with saying, I understand what you're saying now. though that we don't want to overuse that phrase. So let me model it for you. Okay, Javier. Yeah, I think I'm better understanding your concerns now.
Okay.
Start with that.
Okay, Javier. Okay, I think I'm better understanding your concerns now. Will be helpful.
My bad. I drop the expression I think. Just say,
Okay.
I'm better understanding your concerns.
Okay. Okay, Javier. Okay, I am better understanding your concerns now.
Pause.
Would it be helpful if I share with you some of the background I have of this request?
Good. Now ask the question with a downward inflection. Would it be helpful? Sorry again.
Javier, would it be helpful if I share with you more of the background of this request?
Say it again, slower.
Javier, would it be helpful if I share more of the background of this request?
Yes, that will help.
Good. Okay, so the speed, that's the absolute maximum you would want to go. You could even go slower, because remember, everyone on the call, it's hard to fight in slow motion. Right? So Velvet, when you're going nice and slow, it's really hard for the person to feel threatened or under pressure. So let's just hear it one more time, even slower.
Okay. Okay, Javier. I am better understanding what you're saying and what your concerns are.
Pause.
Would it be helpful if I share with you more of the background of this request?
Yes, that will help.
Okay, good. Again, and Velvet, it's still, you could still go slower without it being too much. This call is being recorded, so you can always go back and listen to it, so you'll appreciate the nuance. That was great.
Okay. One more time?
Yeah, let's do it one more time. Go, take the risk of going too slow. We'll let you know what too slow is.
Okay. Because that's how I feel. Like I'm going extra slow.
You let her know if it sounds weird or it doesn't make sense.
Okay, here I go. Okay, Javier. I am better understanding what you're saying and what your concerns are.
Pause.
Would it be helpful if I share with you more background on this request?
Yes, that will help.
Okay, Javier, did that sound too slow to you?
Not too slow, but the first lines were a little faster than the rest.
Good, very subtle, very good catch. So you got better slowing down towards the end, Velvet. You got it from the very beginning, the whole thing.
Okay.
Great.
One more time?
All right, one more time.
Okay, Javier. I am better understanding what you're saying and what your concerns are. Would it be helpful if I share with you more background on this request?
Yes, that will help.
Okay, Javier, how was that one?
Yeah, that was better.
Brilliant. And both of you are from the same culture. So this is very useful for you, Velvet, to get that feedback that, yes, even in Mexico, that's an appropriate speed. Keeping in mind, he's feeling stressed, and now he's feeling under pressure because he's on the call with other people. So by you going slow, you're really being very delicate with his ego, helping him to save face. Because now the whole point is you need to get him to backtrack from what he's. The whole slowness is helping them to save face. All right, so let's just check in. Javier, at this point, is there part of you that still would want to behave like a predator?
No, not at all.
Wow. And what is it that Velvet's doing or not doing that's supporting that?
She's lowered. And then she was more convincing.
Yeah, so the more
her way of speaking.
That was that downward inflection.
Yeah.
And the loud volume, Velvet.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just hear one more sentence, Velvet, of what you would say at this point, because this is just, in some ways, you're just at the beginning of the conversation, and in some ways, you have lined all your ducks up, and you are on the path to success now. And now it's just a matter of you using all of the skills that you've been reinforcing now throughout the whole conversation. And anytime, yeah, go ahead.
Could I be secure in the sense like I want to convince him and I want to say, I will share with you more background and you will agree or something like that, like, and you will see.
No.
Like you are going to change your mind, or how can I say that without saying it?
You don't say it. It will happen organically by you presenting, if it's truly the case, by you presenting it slow and calm with short sentences and downward inflection, then he will come to that conclusion on his own.
Okay.
And then most likely. And then, thank you for letting me interrupt you, Velvet. Then if he doesn't, it might also be wise to say, Javier, I can appreciate that this request would shake things up and it would mean a lot of change for you and your team. So why don't, and I know that we have a few more things to cover today with everyone on the call. So let me find a time when you and I can continue the conversation so I can answer any concerns or questions you have.
Oh, okay.
It may or may not be possible to do it on because of timing. Though most of the time there's not so much mission critical things that urgently have to be dealt with immediately that you can't take it offline and have a one-on-one discussion.
Okay.
And the point of that is that you're further helping him to save face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we haven't taken it through the whole conversation. Let's just hear one more sentence of what you would say at this point. Because we're listening for loud, short sentences, downward inflection.
Okay. Okay, Javier, I am better understanding what you're saying and what your concerns are.
Okay, inflections. I'm better understanding what you're saying.
Better understanding. I am better understanding what you say, and what your concerns are. I need to discuss other things with the rest of the people.
Nope. People?
In the call?
How about this? So I'd like to make a suggestion, Javier.
Okay. Javier, I am better understanding what you say. How about a suggestion? Let's meet offline to discuss all your questions and your concerns so I can continue with my meeting. Sorry.
So that we have plenty of time to dive into the details.
Okay. Because I want to move forward with the meeting and the other people in the call. So that's why I'm...
Sometimes there's a great expression in English, in the interest of time.
Okay. Sounds nice.
Yeah, so you're not making anyone wrong. And you're also saying, I want to give you as much time as you need.
Okay.
So let's hear that whole phrase.
Javier, I am better understanding your concerns. Now, in the interest of time, would it be okay if you and I have an offline meeting to discuss all of your questions?
Yes, I can spare some time to discuss.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, Velvet, we don't know for sure how the conversation is going to go, except, like I said earlier, we're setting you up, we're giving you the structure for success. What are you taking from this coaching?
I take that it takes little to success. It's just a matter of practicing and practicing because it's all new. And now that I am doing it in this coaching, it makes a lot of sense just to take more pause, to be able to not rush into things. And that certainly changes the mood of everyone in the call. So
Excellent.
Very, very helpful. Thank you, Amy.
Wonderful. Thank you. And thanks for modeling that for both of you and being so willing to and being so coachable. It was very effective and easy. Thank you, Velvet.
Thank you. Thank you, Javier.
Okay. Before we move on to Magda, are there any burning comments or questions from anyone on the call?
I think not, because with this practicing, I have learned more. Even though I was the predator part, I learned by listening to Velvet and your coaching. That's good. Yeah.
That's great to hear, Javier. Thank you. Okay, then let's move to Magda. You want to work on, Magda, are you on the call? Let's just double check that one.
Yes, hello, I am here.
Excellent. All right, so we're working on influencing others to take responsibility. Example is when you have complex business processes which need fixing and actions are required from various teams and some may not acknowledge their role in it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So why don't you give me some more background? And just like you heard with Velvet, I might be stopping and interrupting to coach you on various things. What I'd like to hear is, what is the one specific role play that you would want to focus on?
Okay. I probably will explain which is the specific case.
Great.
And probably what I would think that the other person could act as a predator, and I want to avoid him to go into that mode. Okay. So the case is we need to comply with some government requirements in a country. So I'm going to make up some of the names for both the country and the person. Some years ago, it was a different group who, was managing the process.
And Magda, let me interrupt. And as you're sharing this with us, you're going to really practice the 4-sentence rule, keeping it very high level and only giving us the detail you think of, which is absolutely essential.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thanks.
Well, the leader of what I give this is because the leader of the group has now instructed them to stop their involvement and expects my team to do it all. And this is unrealistic. What I know is also that their problem is that they don't have resources to do it and the associated cost is high. However, I think we need to ask for support, from his group to lead the recommendation probably to an upper level because they have the experience.
Okay.
So what I want, yes.
Thanks. Oh, thank you for letting me interrupt. This person that you're concerned about becoming a predator, is he a peer or a superior to you?
He's a superior to me.
Okay, so that already adds to the complexity.
Yes.
You don't want to underestimate how much more challenging it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's the bottom line? What would you want? In your notes, you said they may not acknowledge their role. That might not be essential for them to acknowledge. What is the bottom line that you would like to achieve?
That first, he acknowledges that his team has a role to play in meeting these government requirements because they have the experience and they also, as per the internal policies, have a role to play.
Okay, so that acknowledging is there's a requirement in order to get their commitment.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think that the requirement is probably known to him, is more acknowledging that his team has a role to play. So he cannot prevent them to be further involved and actually help in building the process.
So you want them to help. In order to acknowledge, to get them to help. Okay.
Correct.
And the second thing?
To assist in preparing the recommendation of the cost associated to it and explain why it's high. I hope it's not too vague, but meeting this requirement will be a little bit expensive. and because they were managing it, others are higher levels that can provide this support do not necessarily are aware that they will have to incur in this high cost. They are the only ones who can explain why.
All right, so we're going to take this in two parts, and I think we may only have time to tackle the first one.
Okay, yes.
I believe if we tackle the first one, then the second one will probably be easier because it's reasonable and rational.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If we can get him, so the goal would be to get him to acknowledge the team has a role to play.
Yes.
His team. So his team are your peers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So is the role play you want to practice, you would be speaking to this person directly?
Yes, I will be speaking to him.
Okay, so let's call him Albert.
Albert, okay.
Okay. So is this a person that you see face-to-face, or is it a virtual relationship?
It will have to be a virtual relationship.
Okay.
I have met him personally, but this conversation will have to happen by phone.
This conversation, so we'll make sure we avoid the buts there for you.
Okay.
Good. All right, so let's have somebody on the call who will play a predator for you. Is that useful, Magda?
Yes, it will be very helpful.
Okay, and then we'll give them a couple of sentences of explanation so they know how to behave. So, who else will volunteer tonight to be my number 2 predator? Who's it going to be? Nicole, Guy, Christina, Annabelle? Who's feeling brave? This would really help to have a predator.
Yeah, it will help me.
Yes, exactly. There you go. You're doing this for Magda. Don't make me start singing, people.
Thank you. This is Guy and everyone.
Hi, Guy. Thank you so much.
She's here if you need me. I'd
Okay.
love to help.
Okay. Thanks. Guy.
Sorry, I couldn't find the screen. Excuse me.
Okay, Guy. We're gonna have you be our predator.
Okay.
No, T. I've got somebody. He's going to do it. All right. So.
Okay.
Then, Guy, let's see what Magda says, how she describes it. So, Magda, how do you want him to play Albert?
Okay. So should I start like the conversation with Albert?
He needs Marley a couple of sentences of how Albert. He can play the predator part, though. Content-wise, what does he need to know?
Okay. Well, Albert, your team is under pressure in terms of cost and resources, and you have been trying to limit your involvement in several matters that you don't think that are essential to your team. Yeah. And potentially the one that I am raising is one of them. So you're probably not going to be very happy that I am asking for your involvement.
Okay.
Does that help? Mm-hmm.
Magda, does Albert, is he a bit, is he disrespectful? Does he interrupt? Is he rude? How does he act like a predator?
No, actually he listens.
Okay.
But could be a bit sharp when he disagrees.
Okay, so he's a bit biting and maybe sarcastic?
Yeah, and can try to impose his level.
Okay. Okay, Guy, is it clear for you?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, great. Excellent. All right, so let's take it from Magda. You're calling Albert.
Okay, good. Hi, Albert.
Hi.
How are you today?
Very well. I don't have much time, so.
Okay, good. Understand. Well,
no. He says jump and you're jumping, Magda.
Okay.
Good. So I'll model it for you, and then it's over to you. So we want downward inflections. We don't want you to sound quite so happy. Sadly enough, we're going to have you tone down that beautiful energy of yours.
Okay.
And no nervous laughter. So let's take it from the top where I say ring, ring, and Albert, you answer the phone. Ring, ring.
Hi, this is Guy. Albert.
Hi, Guy Albert. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. Pretty busy.
I can imagine. Albert, do you still have time for our discussion today?
If you can make it quick, yes.
It'll probably take about 20 minutes. How much time do you have now?
5-10 would be good. I have another call starting at the hour, so.
Okay, so let's take 10 minutes now, and if we need more time, I'll schedule with you later.
Okay, what is it about anyway?
So what we want to talk, right? So did you hear that, Magda? I'm not letting him push me around. He's and I'm also acting calm, cool, collected, and generous. Oh, no problem. So I'm being respectful, checking, does this work for you? Now he's going to play games with me around time. And I already told him 20 minutes. I already scheduled it. No problem. Let's see how far we get. And yes, my friend, I will be calling you back kind of thing. So your job is to hold steady and not show in any nervous laughter or speed or upward inflection that you're feeling stressed. And I might have even sounded a little bit too distant at that very beginning. So we still want you to be warm. It's, hi, Albert. How are you today? And everything is with a downward inflection.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Take it from the top. Start with ring, ring, and then Albert will answer.
Oh, well.
So Magda,
I was waiting for the ring, ring.
Okay. Magda, you say ring, ring because you're calling him.
Okay. Ring, ring.
Hi, this is Albert.
Hi, Albert. How are you today?
Hi, thanks. Very good. Busy.
Yeah.
Okay, so notice, let's just acknowledge, bravo, Magda. He didn't say, he was snarky the first time. This time was pretty busy. So he was, like with me, he was much more reasonable with you. That was excellent. Okay, continue.
Well, I can understand, Albert, that you are busy. Yep.
So we got MII. You cannot afford to repeat any words.
Hesitation. Okay.
Yes, exactly. No hesitation. You're gonna have to bring you may overdo it and go too slow or sound monotone or lose your personality. Don't worry about that for right now.
Okay, good.
Nope. No.
Good.
Silent.
We will move then from here. I understand you could be busy. Is it still okay to have the call right now?
Okay, and we got upward inflection, and we had 2 filler sounds. So these are some things that we won't perhaps master in the next 5 minutes, obviously. Though what we're doing here, Magda, is we're identifying what are your saboteurs? What are the little things that are where you're losing your credibility? So speed, and you may want to write these down, although they'll be recorded as well. Nervous laughter, upward reflection, hesitant speech, filler sounds. So those are little speech patterns that you probably do in your mother tongue as well. So it's not about speaking a second language.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to go sentence by sentence, and you're going to deliver it with complete gravitas. Keep it short and sweet. So I'll do it first, and then you repeat it. No problem, Albert. Is this time still good for our discussion? Okay, so go for it, Magda.
No problem, Albert. Is this time still good for the discussion?
Good volume. It's still a little too fast. So listen to it again. No problem, Albert. Is this time still good for our discussion?
No problem, Albert. Is this time still good for our discussion?
Good. Now just give me discussion, make it go down. Even though it's a question, make it a statement. Is this time still good for our discussion?
Is this time still good for our discussion?
Oh, beautiful. Okay, Guy, how is she sounding now versus earlier?
More confident that she will have the opportunity to talk to me.
Are you noticing, is it a little difficult for you to stay predator with her now?
No, I can stay predator, no problems. But I think I will listen a bit more.
All right, well, that's already progress. Great. Okay, so ask that again, Magda, and let's see what Albert says.
Actually, I know we had scheduled that time, but I hard stop at hours. So if you can make it quick, I'll appreciate it.
Yes, of course. How much time do you have?
I told you just up to the hour.
I'm sorry, up to 0.
No. Did you hear that? Nervous laughter and apology. No,
Yep.
You suppress that. And I know because it's a role play and everything you think, no, even now it's okay to get things wrong. So Magda, this was interesting. When you go back and listen to it, he was much more polite with you. He said, what is it about? And I have a few minutes. I can't remember what he said exactly, though he wasn't nearly as aggressive as he had been earlier. And then, so let's Albert, say that again with a little bit of attitude. I told you I have just till the hour. And then Magda, you're going to respond like all is well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Albert, go for it.
Okay, I just told you I have up to the hour.
Very well, no problem. Will it be fine that we start talking maybe 10 minutes now and then we'll reschedule more time later?
Pause. Whoa. Say that as a statement. More, and don't ask him permission, tell him.
Yeah, I think that I try to ask the question rather than make a statement. Good, thank you.
So let's hear that. Volume's great, energy's great, pace is good. So now say it again, slow and calm as a statement. No problem, Albert.
No problem, Albert. We can take some 10 minutes right now and schedule some time later. Will that be fine for you?
It's fine. Why don't we just get to the point?
See, now he's getting impatient, and you asked it with an upward inflection. So let's hear you make that a statement. How does that work for you?
How does that work for you?
How does it work? What? Sorry.
That's okay, Albert. We're doing it piecemeal, so it's not easy to follow what's supposed to happen next. Though, Magda, you're getting the rhythm and the consistency there. So now let's have you pretend you're in the conversation, and let's have you go to the ask. So, Albert, here's my request, and let's hear you say it slow and calm with a short sentence.
Albert, here is my request. I need your help to sorry.
You heard that, okay?
Okay, let me rewind. Okay, Albert, here is my request.
Pause.
I need your team support in building the recommendation to meet the government requirements in Nigeria.
Pause. Silent.
And should I continue?
Just breathe, Magda. No, just breathe. He's playing the predator. It's that silent treatment. And whoever breaks first loses. You made it a clear request. And then if you absolutely have to say, Albert, is that something I can count on from you? All right, so you're going to ask it again and see if he responds. If he doesn't respond, you wait a minimum of 10 seconds and then slowly say, Albert, is that something I can count on from you?
Okay.
All right, great. Take it again.
Albert, here is my request. I need your help Let me go back. Albert, here is my request. I need support from your team to build a recommendation on how to manage the government requirements in Nigeria.
Okay, good. Just breathe. Good.
Albert, is that something that I can count with you on?
Well, Magda, when you scheduled that appointment with me, I hope you would come with some good news and maybe relieve some of the work that you already put on my team. Don't think I can take this request in addition to all the other countries that we have to be compliant at the moment.
I can understand the pressure that you have.
Pause. Downward inflection. That you have.
I can understand the pressure that you have. Yet, this is a government requirement that we have to meet. And your team has the experience on how to do it because last time they managed it. They also know why the associated cost is so high.
Okay, good. So now you're going into a sales pitch.
Okay.
So you would want to ask permission for that. And I would encourage when you're listening to this audio tape again, you're one of the things you want to do, and then Guy, I'm going to ask for your input, and then we're going to wrap up the call, is make sure you do a bigger summary, like you heard Velvet do, of really repeat back what you heard the person say, and then active listening while he's speaking. So that's another set of skills that will come in handy as well. Though I'm really pleased, Magda, how you're holding stronger sentences, loud volume, pausing, down inflection, getting rid of the repetitive words, the hesitant words. Those are all really paying off for you. So Guy, anything else you would add to that?
In the content or in the comment to Magda?
In the comment to Magda, as far as you being predator and how she's showing up now.
No, I think showing up now is look more confident, that we are having reasonable discussions and that she would be able to make her point. I think that's, I can hear it, I can feel it, which makes me a bit more difficult to start about thinking reasons to reject her. Okay.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like with Velvet, we're just getting you on the right path. And if you maintain all of those skills, you're likely to get the outcome you want.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Magda. And everyone else, I want to thank you for your attention today and for those who participated. Information and newsletters are, let me just start again. On my website, you can check out the old newsletters under resources for you. The password is partner with a capital P. Next webinar is October 9th, same time. It's a Tuesday night. And it will be limited as usual to 50 participants. The next Leadership Presence Open program is October 16th and 17th. That'll be on the Swiss Riviera. So if you want to join me for a very powerful 2 days rocking and rolling with these skills with lots of laughter, I would be delighted to have you join. Or if you want to send a husband or a wife, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened. Now, it might be a good time if you want to take a screenshot of the social media channels, if you can still see that image. I don't know if you can, though you'll certainly be able to find it if you go back to the website and listen to the webinar from the beginning. Mm-hmm. If you want to check out my Partner in Action podcast series that was launched last year, you can find it on my website or go to iTunes and search Carroll Communication Coaching. And if you have a partner success story you'd like to share, you want to be interviewed, please reach out to me. I'll set up a time with you. And as a thank you, I'll offer you a half-hour complimentary coaching session. And everyone, what's that?
No, thank you very much for that.
My pleasure, everyone. I wish you a great rest of your week. And until next time, happy partnering, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.